You were already a skeleton. Mosquito went away humiliated. And anytime he passed her way, he told the ear that he was still alive. Okonkwo turned to his side and went back to sleep. He was roused in the morning by someone banging on his door. Who was that? He growled. He knew it must be Ekwefi. Of his 3 wives, Ekwefi was the only one who had the audacity to bang on his door. Nzima's dying, came to her voice, and all of the tragedy and sorrow of her life were packed in those words. Okonkwo sprang from his bed, pushed back on the bolt of his door, and ran into Ekwefi's hut. Nzima lay shivering on the mat beside a huge fire, and her mother had kept burning all night. "It is Iba," said Okonkwo, as he took his machete and went into the bush to collect the leaves and grasses and barks of trees that went into making the medicine for Iba. Ekwefi knelt beside the sick child, occasionally feeling with her palm the wet, burning forehead. Nzima was only a child and the center of her mother's world. Very often it was Nzima who decided what food her mother should prepare. Ekwefi gave her such delicacies as eggs, which children rarely allowed to eat because such food tempted them to steal. One day as Nzima was eating an egg, Okonkwo came in unexpectedly from his hut. He was greatly shocked and swore to beat Ekwefi if she dared to give the child eggs again. But it was impossible to refuse Nzima anything. After her father's rebuke, she developed an even keener appetite for eggs, and she enjoyed above all the secrecy in which she now ate them. Her mother always took her into their bedroom and shut the door. Let's talk about Nzima for a little bit. That's one of the things that I think that we didn't bring up, and I know we haven't seen much of her, but we will, the story will now focus on Ekwefi, or at least this chapter, and Nzima. What's one of the things that Okonkwo comments on about Nzima in chapter 8? Do you remember that, Jordan? He wishes she was a boy. Why do you think he says that? Any thoughts, Kevin?
She's one of those types to rebel against tradition and try and make her own path.
Okay, all right. And that is seen as an admirable quality?
Could be.
Could be, okay. Any other reasons why? Jordan? Yeah, absolutely. Why not Noi? I mean, that's his firstborn son, right?
Because he's lazy, but she's hardworking and she gets her way.
Okay, and she gets her way. Why?
I feel like she was more independent than anyone, and
Okay, definitely more independent. He comments on her wild spirit, right? And he says multiple times in chapter 8, I wish you would have been a boy. Okay? All right, can someone else take over bottom of page 76 where it says Nzima did not call her mother? Any volunteers? Krisha, thank you.
Nzima did not call her mother Nene, like all children. She called her by her name, Ekwefi, as her father and other grown-up people did. The relationship between them was not only out of mother and child. There was something in it like the companionship of equals, which was strange then by such little conspiracies such as eating eggs in the bedroom. Ekwefi had suffered a good deal in her life. She had borne 10 children and 9 of them had died in infancy, usually before the age of 3. As she buried one child after another, her sorrow gave way to despair and then to grim resignation. The birth of her children, which should be a woman's crowning glory, became for Ekwefi mere physical agony devoid of promise. The naming ceremony after 7 market weeks became an empty ritual. Her deepening despair found expression in the names of her children. One of them was a pathetic cry, Onwumbiko, death I implore you, but death took no notice. Onwumbiko died in his 15th month. The next child was a girl, Ozomina. May it not happen again. She died in her 11th month, and 2 others after her. Ekwefi then became defiant and called herself the next Onwuma. Death may please himself, and he did.
All right, let's stop there for a second. Remember how we were talking about suffering just then? How has Ekwefi suffered in her life? That was a big paragraph. 9 out of the 10 children died. Now, I think it's interesting in this paragraph when it says, the birth of her children, which should be a woman's crowning glory. What does that mean?
It should be a good thing.
It should be a good thing, but encourage her to.
Say it again, Kathy.
It should be a good thing for her, but instead it was a negative experience for her. because she didn't
Okay.
have kids.
A woman's crowning glory. Think of the purpose of women in this tribe.
It's good for the men, if they want children, like, be a part of their family.
Okay.
They'll be happy with their wives if they have kids.
What if your job was solely to produce children? That was your crowning glory. That's the only thing you got credit for. Not how you think, not what you're good at, not the way that you show determination and hard work but if that was your crowning glory, that was the one thing that you were supposed to do. That was your role in life. Okay? Remember we talked about also the fear of failure? Do you think she felt failed? Like she was failing when 9 out of her 10 children died? Probably. All right, let's keep going. Alina, will you read the next 2 paragraphs where it says after the death?
After the death of